Hey,
Again, just
that's who we
our lower
are.
thirds. We've got him here. We should talk about him. Yeah. But yeah, so talking about, well, first I see in the comments Katie, one of our team members as well, say please say that's an Anchorman costume to me. Katie, stay classy. um, Anyways, so to the topic today, like I said, is going to be where should you go send your video? Where should you place your video? Um, Asia is commenting too. I just have a Halloween tie. That's all I had. All my costume stuff is in storage, so I wasn't able to do an actual costume, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, anyways, our topic today, before we get into questions, and again, please put your questions in the comments of this live because we want to help you all answer as many of those as possible. Um, we want to talk about where you should send your live video. And to start that process, we have some questions we think you should ask to help identify. And here are those questions. You should ask things like, where is your audience already? Who is your audience? What's the goal of your video? And should you simulcast? Um, a lot of different things. Angela, you want to kind of talk to some of those points and maybe talk about some of the benefits, the pros and cons of streaming maybe to Facebook or YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, or to your website?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something we see a lot, especially from users that are just getting started with live video. They're wondering where should I send my live video because there's so many platforms, and sometimes they're just at a loss. They're like, which one is best? And sometimes they want to jump to simulcasting and just put it on all of them. And like Dan had in, the little notes to the side, it really depends on where your audience is. So what I tell people is if you are first getting started, you don't have a following on any kind of social media, stream to Facebook. Facebook is the number one social media platform. It's where most people are. You're going to find more people on Facebook than anywhere else. And you're going to get a lot of, passerbys that way. If you start streaming to an actual video platform like YouTube or Twitch, people who are consuming live video and uploaded video are the ones who are on there. If you're streaming to Facebook, you're going to catch, coworkers, people from school, family members, friends you've met. So you're going to get a lot of, pass by traffic for people saying, oh, he or she is live, what's going on. So that's going to be a great way to get started. Most commonly, we see this a lot for sports and for churches for the same reason. This is where people already are. It's an easy platform to get started. A lot of people might say, why do I want to make a YouTube account? Why do I want to make a Twitch account? But most people aren't going to push back if you tell them log in with your Facebook account and view my video. So if you're just getting started, I highly recommend Facebook. From there, it really depends on your goals and where your audience is. So if you are looking, to do this, whether it's a hobby or, full time, I do recommend looking into YouTube and Twitch. Those are the big two right now for live video and uploaded video. So if your goal is to be a content creator, I recommend getting started with those. Which one you use just depends. Again, do you already have an audience? If you don't, think about what you're planning to do with your videos. Twitch is more popular for going live. Uploaded videos still do well, but live video is their number one. YouTube is still, kind of catching up to Twitch and Facebook with live video. So while you will have success, a lot of times those uploaded videos are the more popular on there. So it really depends on what your aim is. Kind of speaking to that, what a lot of people will do is stream live on one platform and upload somewhere else. We see that most commonly with Facebook. A lot of our users will stream live to Facebook and then upload like an on-demand video to YouTube. And the people who subscribe to you on YouTube are still going to get a notification saying, you've just uploaded a new video to watch. Kind of the same with Twitch. A lot of people will stream live on Twitch and then upload that content to YouTube. So that way you're still keeping that YouTube channel going, but your live video is starting somewhere else. Kind of the last of the big four is LinkedIn. It's the newest one. As Dan mentioned, it is in beta. you have to apply to get approved, but they are starting to get that approval process working a lot quicker. And once you're approved, Switcher Studio is one of the recommended platforms that they recommend to do LinkedIn Live with. LinkedIn, of course, is more of a professional platform. So if you're doing, funny dances or gaming or something, that's probably not the best place to put that. But if you're doing more of like a professional setting, maybe streaming a conference or something, that's really common to see on LinkedIn Live. Again, it's all about your audience. Think about where you want these at. If you are doing something like dances or gaming, YouTube and Twitch is going to be your bread and butter at that point. Professional, LinkedIn, and getting started, and also churches, sports, radio shows. Those are really great for Facebook. Another one we do want to touch on really quick is a website. So a lot of people already have a website for any number of reasons, and they are wondering, can I stream to my website? It really depends on your website. So without getting too technical, you can always write into support@switcherstudio.com for a longer explanation. You need something called RTMP to stream to any platform. So that's what Switcher Studio uses. That's what any other streaming service uses. And it's basically the address of your account. It's letting that streaming service know where to send your video. And all of these common platforms like Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, they already have that. They can give you the RTMP and you can go live to it. A lot of websites don't. So your first thing is to see if your website has RTMP. The easiest way to do this, if you're not sure, is to contact support for your website, and they'll let you know yay or nay. If you do have RTMP, perfect. You can stream directly to it with Switcher Studio. We can help you with that. If not, you're not out of luck. All you have to do is embed. So we went through the big four. Of course, there's many, many other platforms as well. But what you basically need to do is embed a video player into your website to show those productions. A lot of times it's easiest if there is a permanent stream. A lot of platforms like Twitch have this, so that way you're not having to update the website over and over. But you can do, it's a quick copy and paste for your next broadcast, so that way you can direct people to still go to your website. You're not telling them log into some other platform, just tell them go to my website and they can watch that video there. So if you do want to stream to a website, it's a little trickier at times, but we're here to help you with that if you need to. Kind of moving on from there, I mentioned which platforms are good for which things, but a lot of people do want to simulcast. A lot of people do have a following on more than one social media, or they're trying to build a platform on a different social media where they might have started with Facebook and now they're trying to add Twitch or LinkedIn or YouTube to that repertoire. And that's where simulcasting comes in. So basically that's just streaming the same video live to the same place at the same time. If you're using Switcher Studio, we don't have that built in, but remember we do have custom RTMP. So what we recommend is signing up for a service like Caster or Switchboard. And what you can do is literally just log in to the platforms you want. And what you're going to do is put Caster's RTMP or Switchboard's RTMP into Switcher Studio. Again, we'll help you out with this if you write in and you want more kind of details on how to set this up. But that way, when you go live from Switcher Studio, it kicks it over to Caster or to Switchboard, and then it's going to split that out to your other platforms. So it's pretty easy to do. A lot of people ask about setup or cost. None of that's on us. I know some of these other platforms are free. Some have a slight charge. You would have to look and see what you need for your account, set up an account on those individual services, and then connect Switcher Studio to them. We don't kind of do like an all-in-one deal. And again, a lot of it depends on what you're trying to do, how many platforms you're going to. What I do caution is if you're getting started, don't try to stream to all four at once. Think back to how I mentioned before, what's your end goal, what platform's best for you, and build that audience there. If you need to do two, if you're trying to build an audience on a second one, or you are already have an audience on a second one, do two. But a lot of times when we see people streaming to 4 or 5 places, you're just splitting your audience and there's not really a need for it. You're able to direct people to the 1 or 2 platforms you want. And again, as I mentioned before, it is easy to stream to one and upload to another. So a lot of times that's a lot easier on your bandwidth. That's a lot easier to check comments. You're not tabbing through a bunch of places to check comments in 2 or 3 areas, but that is available if you need it. Another kind of similarity we have for that is our cross-posting feature. So this is something that Facebook has exclusively for it. It allows you to stream to multiple pages at the same time. So again, same broadcast going to multiple pages. It has to be a page, not a timeline, not an event, not a group, but as many pages as you want. We haven't found the limit to how many pages you can have yet. And we've tried. So you're pretty much good to go with whatever you want to do. This is great if you are wanting to stream to, let's say, your main page, your guest page. Maybe there's like an additional page, like if you're streaming a wedding, you might want it on your page, your guest page, and the venues page or something. And what you do is you send a request out to these other page admins, they approve it, and then you're able to, literally check a box and say, send it to this page as well. So again, this is a feature exclusive from Facebook.com. We have built integration for it with Switcher Studio if you're on the standard or plus plans, and that does make it easy to simulcast to pages. But again, if you wanted to go anywhere else on Facebook or to another platform, that's when you're looking at, the simulcasting I mentioned earlier with a different service as well.
Yeah.
Kind of the last thing I think we'll discuss is scheduling. This is another big one that people love. You can schedule on Facebook and YouTube with Switcher Studio as long as you're on standard or plus. And what this allows you to do is create an event up to 7 days ahead of time, and you put in what date you're going live and what time you're going live. And it's going to appear, on your Facebook page or on your YouTube channel. And that way people can opt in for notifications. You can also share that scheduled post. So you can share it to your timeline. A friend can share it to their timeline. You can share it out on Twitter. And that way people have the link in advance. If you're, sending out a newsletter, you can put the link in the newsletter. And that just makes it very easy to go live right then. So again, Facebook and YouTube are great for scheduling as well. Just to kind of give your audience a heads up, even if you verbally tell them, this way they're seeing it beforehand. They'll get a notification a few hours beforehand. They'll get another one a few minutes beforehand. And then, of course, the final notification when you're actually live.
Angela, that's awesome. I kept thinking of stuff that I was going to add, and you kept on saying it. So, yeah, that's really great. I'll put these questions up again, and I do really think that these outline a lot of things you want to figure out. Something I'll also add, like we're live right now in a Facebook group, so if you have a group of common liked individuals, that's a great way to keep that video within that group and just those people. So if it does need to be shared out to everybody, that's a good way to do it. That RTMP and like putting on your website that Angela was talking about as well could be a good way to like if the goal of the video is to sell ticket sales. Obviously on Facebook, well, Facebook, I think that's coming. Or might be out to some people, so I don't want to.
I want to say it's limited beta.
Right.
I'm not positive,
So,
but I think it's limited beta.
yeah, but like that is an option. But yeah, so or maybe you just want it behind a paywall or a password. Like using that RTMP is definitely an option, and using an extra service to get that video onto your website. But yeah, awesome stuff there. A ton of good information. Yeah, I think this is a great place to start, though, asking, where is your audience already? If you're on Facebook, stream to Facebook. You can put it on YouTube and bring more people to the other platform, or tell them to go to the other one. So you kind of spread it around, spread the love around. Who's your audience? One thing I like to say is with YouTube is there for video. So people are going there to consume video. If you're going to be doing a longer form video, that might be a good place to do it. As Angela said, if you're just starting out, Facebook is a great option because it's going to show up to a lot of people as they're scrolling through, and you're going to get a lot of eyes on that video. And of course, the goal of the video, if it needs to be like behind a paywall, like we said, you have some options there. And Angela covers simulcasting a ton. So, not seeing a ton of questions here in the comments. Make sure to get those in if you guys have them. I do see one asking what I'm gonna make sure I have that up. What phones are we using? Angela's actually connected to me via video chat, so she's using a webcam plugged into her computer. Of course, I'm using Switcher Studio here to control everything, and I'm using my personal iPhone XS 10s is what I'm using for my angle.
The webcam I have is a Logitech. I want to say C615. It's one I actually purchased around 2015, 2016. So it's a few years old, 1080p, but still kicking, still doing great. I know a lot of webcams are kind of hard to come by at this point. They've been kind of scarce this year. But this is one I saw all the time and just, Walmart, Target, everything like that. Logitech's the brand I've always used for my webcam, so highly recommend it. They last a long time, as you can see, and get great results.
I think the Logitech webcam that I have might even be older than that, and it's the same thing. It's got the little tripod screws, so you can put it onto a table tripod or clamp it on top. That is a good piece of equipment. And how about have you seen, while we maybe get some more questions here in the comments, have you seen any common issues coming up recently with Switcher or stuff that you've been seeing through the support emails that we can address? I know I'm putting you on the spot right now, so if you don't have any, that's okay.
There's a few that I've seen. Some are, ongoing ones we've seen for years. Some are fairly new. Two that I'll go over kind of related to like your account. We do still see a lot of people wondering, after the trial, what is the price? So we have 3 different plans, and all of them are available in monthly and annual installments. So the price depends on what you pick and how often you pay. If you go to switcherstudio.com/pricing, or just go to our main website, switcherstudio.com, and use the menu, it will break down what features are in each plan. So that way, if there's a certain feature you need, you can see what plan it's in. And then you can look at the cost for a monthly payment or a lump sum annual payment. Another question we see is, where do I pay, or where do I update my card, or how do I switch my plan? That's all done in your dashboard. So again, go to our website, switcherstudio.com, log in, and then you're able to go to billing info and take care of all of that. Kind of another thing I've seen is if you're trying to change the email address on file, if you get any kind of error message with that, go ahead and write into us. It's usually something quick that we can fix. Just let us know what your current email address is and what you're trying to switch it to. I do see tickets sometimes where they're like, I've tried off and on for a month. We don't like to see that with any issue. If you have an issue, let us know, even if it seems minor. None of us like to see when you say you've had a recurring issue for days, weeks, months, years. Like, let us know. We'll fix it. This should work for you. We want it to work for you. Another one I've seen that's been kind of recent, it's mainly impacting some users on iOS 14. Sometimes there is an issue with camera connection. So first, go back to your basics. Make sure you're on the right Wi-Fi network. Make sure you're on a private Wi-Fi network. A lot of times public networks can cause a little more of an issue. If you're doing everything the same and you're having issues, a lot of times what we've seen that will resolve this quickly is just to reset your router. So just unplug the router for 10 seconds, plug it back in. Most routers are back up and running within a minute or two, and then test it again. That's working for most users. Again, if you find yourself in a situation where you're on a private network, there's not a firewall, you've reset your router, you're trying to connect everything properly and you're still having problems, let us know and we'll help you out from there. But that is one we've seen. And a lot of times it's users who, now that some things are opening back up, they're moving from their office or their home to a public area. And of course, connections can be kind of wonky with those. Or they just need to refresh their router and they're good to go.
Yeah, and we have also seen reports with that last one, Angela, of people running our beta and that fixing the problems as well. So we're hopefully going to have that out public to everybody very soon. So, but it seems that uh, the fixes have been resolved. I don't think there was really anything crazy we did to it. It just kind of happened. So yeah, that's good to hear as well. I will say you might be watching this later on Facebook, or you might be watching this on YouTube when we upload it there. We're in the 101 group right now for all you YouTube people. You can on our Facebook page, and you can join us there. We're Angela and I are going live, answering your questions, giving tips and tricks as well. So you can join us live there. Or put your comments on the video wherever you're watching. We're happy to answer them. So if we aren't able to answer it right now, or you're like, shoot, I had a question but I didn't catch them live, you can still comment in this group on this video. You can comment, email us at support@switcherstudio.com and we'll be happy to help. Also, if you're watching this after the fact and there's the time that you'd love to see us go live, let us know that as well. We're kind of experimenting with different times to see what works best for people and make sure that everybody out there has a chance to watch one of these live videos. So I think that's it, Angel, unless you have anything else wonderful to say.
I think that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, a lot of the stuff with simulcasting, I kind of went over on a very basic level. Same with cross posting. So if you do have any questions, as Dan said, email support@switcherstudio.com. We'll give you a more detailed approach and help you get that set up and running. And again, anytime you have any questions, write into us at support@switcherstudio.com, and we're always happy to help you out.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be live again soon, so be on the lookout for the next scheduled live. For the topic we'll be covering, and to get your questions, switcher questions answered live with us. So thanks again for everybody out there, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.